Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer, the show that is the Omar Little to the board game community's The Wire. Speaking of crime, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to take a look at Batman, Gotham City strategy game from WizKids. Batman, Gotham City strategy game from WizKids, 1 to 4 players take on the roles of some of Batman's most iconic villains. I am, of course, talking about Two-Face, Killer Croc, the Penguin, and the Crown Prince of Crime himself, Bill Clinton. And that's as political as the show gets. The game board is a map of Gotham City. Essentially, you have uptown, midtown, and downtown, 3 different kind of sections of the city, and each of these are divided further into smaller sections. You have Arkham Asylum, Blackmore Prison, etc., etc. Lots of different little areas on the board. Now, as you are one of the villains, your goal is to try to, of course, gain control over certain sections of the city, but your ultimate goal is to advance kind of to the 10th level. You have these 10 levels. Each player has a little player screen, and at the top it has what you have to do to advance to the next level. You also have, of course, this being a WizKids game, kind of the hero click system with the click on the bottom where you can click it up to the next level as you're leveling up. Now, in order to level up, at some level you may have to pay some money or pay some information. At some levels you may have to own a certain number of city spaces or accomplish a few other things. Now, the first thing you do on your turn is determine whether you can level up. You pay the cost for leveling up, or you don't, and then you go to playing cards. Now, you have a hand of a number of strategy cards, and you play them from your hand. Now, you play 1 card from your hand each turn, and each card is divided into 2 sections. You have to do the top part of the card, but playing the bottom part is optional. If you play the top part and you don't want to play the bottom part, you can discard the card, and you can gain 2 of any resource. You can either gain money, you can gain intelligence, or you can gain threat markers. More on that later. But these different things may say things like the owner of this location, whoever rules this location, essentially whoever has the most stuff in there, the villain, henchman, threat tokens, whoever has the most in there, they get income from that section, whether it's money, whether it's intelligence, they'll get it. And then, of course, the bottom one has all sorts of fun and kooky different things that may benefit you and they may not. It may be more wise just to discard it. But on some of the top parts of the strategy cards you play, you may get the bat symbol. Now, if you play a card with a bat symbol on it, you draw the Batman card. Now, the Batman card essentially says what Batman's going to do that turn. Now, Batman starts off in his location in the Batcave, but he can move to different locations on the board. He may target certain villains that have certain characteristics or certain things going for them. It may be just up to the person that plays the card. He can send Batman where he wants. There's all sorts of kooky different things that may dictate what Batman does. Now, if Batman goes to a location with one of the villains, you essentially have a roll-off. You each roll a die, and then whoever gets the higher number wins. But here's the thing. Both die contain a bat symbol. If either one of you rolls a bat symbol, Batman automatically wins. You also get modifiers. For instance, if the villain has henchmen with him, those henchmen give you kind of a +1 to your die roll. It is possible to beat Batman, but most of the time Batman's going to win because he is so strong and he has so many advantages. If Batman wins, you've got to clear your villain and all of your henchmen from the area. And Batman can also clear threat tokens. He can essentially, depending on his level, he can take out so many of the threat tokens. Now, Batman himself, if he is beaten, he goes back to the Batcave and he advances a level. He learns from his mistakes. Now, after you've played the card or cards and you've gone through all that, then you collect your resources and you can then decide how you want to spend things. Now, whenever you get threat tokens, you can place them on the board, and these are kind of your ability to control an area. If you have more threat tokens than somebody else, then you rule that area. But you don't just consider threat tokens when determining it. You also consider how many henchmen they have. And if the villain is in there, regardless of how many threat tokens or henchmen somebody else has, well, the henchmen will clear away. But regardless of how many other threat tokens they have, you will rule. A villain always is going to rule a city. Now, a villain can also move into a city with another player. In fact, that's one of the things you can do after you play cards. You can go ahead, first of all, you can spend money to recruit henchmen, and you can also spend an intelligence token to move any number of villains, or to move your villain or any number of your henchmen on the board. You can go and attack other villains. Again, it's the same thing. It's a roll-off. If you roll the bat symbol, nothing happens. It's essentially a 0, but you add your villain with all the number of your henchmen present, and whoever gets the highest roll wins. Whoever loses has to put their villain, their henchman, back behind their player screen. Finally, at the end of your turn, you draw a card and put that back into your hand. So you go around and around like this, attempting to take over areas, gain money, gain intelligence, gain henchmen, and try to avoid Batman and try to send Batman against the other players. You're keeping doing this. You're trying to level up, trying to level up, trying to level up. The first villain who can level up to 10 wins the game. Or if you make it all the way through the strategy deck, at the end of that, you get one more round to go all the way around, and whoever has the highest level up wins. If there's a tie, you look at how many henchmen they have, you look at how many resources they have, and you can break ties that way. But that, in a nutshell, is how you play Batman Gotham City Strategy Game. So Batman Gotham City Strategy game came out a few years ago, and not long after the Justice League strategy game came out. And I had my eyes on these two games for a long, long time. I've wanted to play them for a long, long time. I think they both looked like they are a lot of fun, and I was really excited to play them. I just never got around to it. And then not long ago, WizKids, I was talking with WizKids. They said they'd be more than happy to send me some review copies. I'm like, great, this is awesome. I'll finally get a chance to play these. Well, I played the Justice League strategy game not long ago, and, it was a fun game. I liked it, but it was kind of underwhelming. I kind of built it up into my head, and it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. It's a good game, not a great game. You can see my review on the Discriminating Gamer YouTube channel. And so, after I played that, I was kind of less excited to play Batman. Of the two, this is the one I was looking forward to the most. And so I was a little nervous. I'm thinking, this is not going to be as good as I thought it was going to be. And we played this game now, and I got to tell you, I really like Batman Gotham City Strategy Game a lot. This was a lot of fun. I love the theme. I love how you're villains. I love how Batman comes out and he's screwing with everybody. Now, a lot of this game is, when you play those cards, sometimes the only cards you have help other people, so you have to decide, well, who am I going to help? That it's not going to put them over the edge. It's not going to really help them that much. So a lot of times you're doing that, but you want the second effect on the card that maybe helps you. So you got to help somebody else to help yourself, and that's a lot of the game. But two, a lot of it is, who can I screw over with Batman? And if I play a strategy card with Batman, if I draw the Batman card, is that going to hurt me? Is that going to backfire on me? Because sometimes it will. It's really a lot of fun. I'm not a huge fan of the little click things. I love Star Trek fleet captains, and I think it works really well there. But I've not played another game where I was really wild about the clicking. I think there's better ways to keep track of stuff. But I didn't hate it, and it's the figures are really, really, really cool. I really like them, and I think they're interchangeable. It comes with some other things where you can use them for the Hero Clicks game, which I've never played. But I really like Batman's Gotham City Strategy Game a lot. It was fun. The game it probably reminded me the most of, and not necessarily really mechanically, but just, I don't know, the way it felt, the way it moved, it reminded me a lot of Sons of Anarchy from Gale Force 9, which is the same thing. You're playing gangsters, and it's more of a worker placement game, but the way combat worked felt very similar, and kind of the way you're kind of moving around to get area control felt similar, and so it reminded me of it, and I really liked Gale Force 9's Sons of Anarchy. I really like that game. So I really like this one, and I love the Batman theme. I love it. I love the artwork. I love the figures. Love the production, and love gameplay. This was a fantastic game. I really like Batman Gotham City Strategy Game a lot. So the recommendation for the Discriminating Gamer for Batman Gotham City Strategy Game is buy it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. We are The Discriminating Gamer, and ladies and gentlemen, now, finally, I can make my big announcement. I have been selected by the DC Cinematic Universe to portray in the Batman standalone film due out in 2018, Batboy. I'm gonna be Batboy. And I'm gonna be, "Rawr, I'm Batboy, but I can't see because I'm a bat." It's gonna be great.
Please somebody help me on my feet again. And I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
So they were kind of going for that 60s vibe again.